Hello there, and welcome back to Szpakowo. So, what do we have on the cards for this July? Well, I believe our wheat field is going to be ready to harvest, so let's quickly jump into our map and do a growth check. Yep, so 179 with our wheat is ready to harvest, so that's going to be our primary focus for this month. If we take a look at our oats here, they are going to be ready to harvest next month, and then our long grain rice is going to be ready in September. Also, something we can look at this month is our grass. However, if we take a look at our productions, we don't necessarily need to do anything with our grass this month. And I think what we'll do with this next chop of grass is we'll turn it all into silage and feed it to our TMR mixer. Just before we go and harvest that field, I want to check these grass bales to see if they've fermented into silage. No, they're almost there. So we have, what do we have here? 3, 6, 8 bales times 3,500 litres, so that's 27,000 litres. And that's in addition to the 33. So yeah, what I think I'm going to do with the next chop of grass, which is also ready this month, I think. Yeah, it is ready. So what I'm going to do with this chop of grass is to turn it all into silage and then feed that to the TMR mixer. And then that will be both the silage and the hay full. Let's quickly check our animals to see how they're doing for food. They are doing just fine for food. So they don't need any more for now. They're going to need some fairly soon though. Okay. Let's jump in our harvester and start it up. And we'll grab our header and we'll head over to 175, I think it was, and we'll harvest our wheat. I was going to suggest that I reconvert the trailer to 21 meters cubed, but I'm not going to do that because we need it at 14 so that it fits in our cow barn. So yeah, we're just going to have to probably make an extra trip over to the farm with the wheat we get from this field. So let's hook up to the header and we'll get this field harvested and collected, and I will come back to you very shortly. Okay, so we are almost done harvesting our wheat field here. We've got a whole bunch of straw to windrow, bale up and collect. So we will take care of that, I think, next, because then we can call this field complete until we replant it, and then we can focus on our grass field. That is it complete. So we got 14,700 plus 3,072, so 17,000, almost 18,000. That's pretty good. I think this is the first time we've harvested wheat from this field when we've had the entire field, so we don't really have anything to compare it to. We've obviously got a lot more wheat than we did oats last season. So I'm wondering if what I should now do is leave the wheat planting until spring for this field, and then see how much we get when we plant wheat in spring. That might be a good idea. Okay, so we're back at the farm with our wheat and trailer. Let's get this tipped into the grain mill. And in the meantime, I did try and send our harvester over to the vehicle store, but it got stuck before it started. So apparently the AI thinks the vehicle is broken. The vehicle definitely isn't broken, it's the AI that's broken. So let that be a lesson to you, Mr. Artificially Intelligent. I know they're going to come and get me when they become self-aware. Okay, so we're filling up there. Let's jump into our menus. We'll go to our productions, into our grain mill, and we will start creating wheat flour again. And that can be distributing to the bakeries. And if we look at our bakeries here, we have rice flour being produced, and we can start up the bread flour again. It's showing there's no input for now, but that will change just as soon as this starts producing. So we are fully fueled up, and I think we may as well get the harvester repaired while it's over here. Doesn't need it too desperately right now, but we may as well get it taken care of because we are in the area. We'll just dive in here quickly and get that taken care of. Yep, we repair it for 1,057, and we'll head back over to the farm. I think what I'll do is park the harvester and the header next to our oat field, ready for harvesting next month, because there's no point in parking it away when we need to use it. And then we'll go and finish off tending to the wheat field. Now, what I was thinking for the wheat field, once we've collected the straw from it, is do we want to sell it and look at buying a field closer to us at this point? I know we've looked at this before and considered it, but we didn't do anything before because I really wanted to purchase a larger field, and selling that field with our previous bank balance wouldn't have enabled us to buy a field of any substantial size. So now we have the medium-sized field. I'm wondering if we might have options for picking up another smaller field if we sell that field that we just harvested wheat from. That's a good place to connect it easily and start our oat harvest next month. Okay, so let's take a look at our fields then. So if we sold this, I think it's worth, what is it worth? 68,000. So if we did sell that, what could we buy? It's 2.84 acres. The other option is to buy this field here for 79, and that includes all of this area here, which would need some field work, but then we could actually combine these two fields into one if we wanted to, or we could just leave it as one field because we have easy access to this field from here. And that would be 3.29 acres, which is fairly similar to what we have here. 2.3 of this plot is field. This one is, yes, 3.2 acres of field. So yeah, that might be the next play, is to get this one here. It's got a decent yield potential, and it's an extension of our farm rather than a field in a random place. We don't need to do it immediately. We have enough fields and variety for this moment, but I think this is where we're going to go eventually. Not forgetting that we also need to purchase some kind of machinery to harvest sugar beets and potatoes, which is going to be fairly expensive. So yeah, we need to also bear that in mind. Unless we do stick with the idea of renting machines to complete VIP order contracts. I'm not too sure if we're going to do that yet. Anyways, we'll figure that out as we go. We'll drop off this trailer here. We'll pick up our windrower and we'll go and windrow that straw that our harvester dropped. And then we'll get it baled up and brought back to the farm. I will continue with this and I will see you in a little while. Okay, so that is the straw baled up and collected. Just doing this last row here, and you can see how many straw bales we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 bales. Okay, so we've got 50,000 litres of straw for our TMR mixer. Because it only uses straw at 33% of the ratio it uses hay and silage, that should last us quite a while because we already have 25,000 litres in there. So yeah, that straw will last us quite a while. Now we do have a ton more incoming straw from our oat field next month, so that straw I'm guessing will just be sold off. I don't think we are going to need to keep that, so we'll keep it until winter and then we will ditch it to the highest bidder in winter time. And I'm thinking that I will pick up the bales next, because then we can just kind of finish up with that field and we don't have to remember to go and revisit it later in the year. So let's switch out the pallet fork for the bale spike, which is over here, and we'll grab our big trailer and we'll go get those bales collected up and fed to the TMR mixer. And once we've done that, we will take care of the grass field. Okay, so we're back over at the farm with our straw bales. I wonder if you can actually ditch these in the TMR mixer without forking them into the actual bin, because I know you can drop off mineral feed here, so I wonder if you can do the same with bales. Let's take a look. No, you cannot. No, the bales have to be fed manually, which is what I kind of expected. What I didn't expect was for them to misbehave and do their best to dive off of the trailer before I feed them to the mixer. You know what the consequences are when that happens. The ones who jump off get fed to the mixer first. Come on. You and you are going to meet your demise before the rest of the bales. And maybe word will make its way around the Straw Kingdom that if you jump off, you end up living a few seconds less. There we go. So I'll ditch those in there. Oh, like that. I'm guessing there's maybe a hay bale hiding in there somewhere that's preventing the others from being sold. Let's take a look. So if we turn on, yeah, that's probably what's happened. So if we turn on the production, then once that hay level goes down a little bit, it should take the hay bale that's at the bottom, hopefully, and then those ones will automatically be accepted. So let's switch off the engine. While it's deciding what to do, we'll check these. So these are now silage. These can be thrown into the TMR mixer as well, which is quite handy because we have the tractor right here ready to do that. What else can we check while we're waiting? Let's take a look at our cows, see how they're doing. They are getting a little low on TMR. So I think what I'll do after I have spoon-fed the feed mixer, I will drop a few loads of TMR into the cow barn before we start taking care of the grass. Maybe I can dump these additional straw bales on the top here. I'm sure they'll be okay though, won't they? Oh, there we go. Looks like they've just been accepted now. Okay, so we'll continue loading the straw. I was being impatient, just thinking that we could be more productive, as I didn't know how long the straw was going to take to be accepted into the feed mixer, so I thought we could busy ourselves with something else in the meantime. But let's continue with loading the straw up and the silage and feeding the cows, and I will join you again in a bit. Okay, so we have completely filled up the cows with TMR. We need to dump this excess back into the feed mixer. So let's take a quick look at the production then, just to see how much space it has to produce. Yeah, it's only about half full now, which is good. So we can leave that running for a little while. We must remember to turn it off though, because it does cost 2,000 euros per month to operate. So it is very expensive. I am tempted to turn it off now and wait until we actually need it, because we have, if we look at this, we have at least 4 more loads. 56,000 is 4 loads of that trailer, which is a full cow barn. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is switch that off, and then we'll wait until the TMR is empty, and then we'll switch it on, and it doesn't matter if we leave it on over one night at least, because we'll need to produce a fair amount of TMR in one go. So let's park our trailer away, and the next job we have is to tend to our grass. So we'll drop off the front loader here, and once again let's take a look at the levels. So yeah, we've got 46,000 litres of silage in the TMR mixer, so that is the most in need out of all of the TMR inputs. So this chop of grass is all going to be silage, and we don't need too much. We only need about 50,000 litres, which is 10, it's about 14 bales. I know the field chop will yield much more than 14 bales, so we'll just save the rest for selling later on in the year. Just thinking if it's worth converting some of this chop to hay to feed to the horses, but I think I'll save that for the next chop. Yeah, I think that's the better idea there. So I will continue with the grass chopping, and I will be back with you once we're complete. I'll probably do the grass chopping and the windrowing, and then I'll come back to you for a quick break, and then commence with the baling and wrapping. So I'll see you soon. That is the mowing and windrowing complete, and as usual I was pondering life while completing those tasks, and I thought of a couple of things. First one is it worth looking into silage additive at this point? I'm not sure if all of the balers have the option for silage additive or whether it's just certain ones, so that's something I want to check. And there was another one as well, and I don't remember what it was. Oh yeah, the other one I think was, is it worth looking at a building that produces silage rather than wrapping and going through all of that hassle? So let's first of all take a look at wrappers or balers. I guess you would put the additive into the grass and then it would make the grass yield more silage. So I'm confused about why some of the balers don't have it. I'm sure I saw it on a baler previously. Yeah, I did. It's just some of the more expensive balers, and in fact not even all of them. So this one has a silage additives tank, but that is an absolute monster of a baler that we definitely aren't going to be able to afford anytime soon. So some of the more expensive ones do. Our one doesn't. That's the one we currently have. That doesn't have it. So what is the cheapest baler that has an additives tank? Is this one at 112,500, and that still only does 125 centimeter bales. However, it does wrap them and bale them at the same time, so it would save us one pass of the field. I'm wondering if it's worth saving up for this. Probably is, isn't it? So I guess we can add it to the list of things we want to buy. Let's continue with taking care of our grass field. Oh, there was a third thing I was thinking of as well, and that is that we probably don't need to fertilize our grass field anymore. I feel like we're getting way too... Well, there's no such thing as way too much, but we're getting enough grass off of the field that we don't need to ensure absolute premium chops at this point, because we have other sources of our income right now. And so going over the field with lime and fertilizer takes extra time and resources, and scooping up the extra grass and baling it and wrapping it also takes extra time. So I think we might just skip over ensuring this field gets its maximum yield every time from now on. We'll see how it goes with that, and if we get to a point where we need to start taking good care of it again, we will do that. Anyways, I'll continue with the baling and I will rejoin you once we're complete. See you soon. Okay, so we are almost done baling the grass up. Our tractor is shutting down because it has high hours and the maintenance is starting to go down. It's squeaking because it's thirsty and just generally being really needy. So we're going to have to go and take care of it over at the vehicle store. So let's switch off the baler. In fact, I'll just collect this last little piece here, may as well. Yeah, there we go. So we'll just go and drop off the baler, and then we'll get over to the store, quench its thirst, and give it some TLC. Our tractor stopped squeaking. It's all happy again for 5 minutes because we've given it some TLC. So let's grab our bale wrapper and start collecting. I'm going to do a quick count actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Oh, 24 bales. That's not a huge amount. I'm pretty sure we've had over 30 from chops of this field before. Maybe that's because the field isn't freshly limed. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to put the bales here. And I am going to try to remember to drop them upright, because not all of these are going to be going into the feed mixer. Anyways, I will continue and I will come back to you once the wrapping is complete. See you soon. Okay, so that is the bale wrapping complete. I started piling the bales from this end of the field up by the shed up there, and then I decided that I couldn't be bothered to keep going up and down the field with one bale, so I will come down here and collect these before we do the next chop, and I'll probably put them directly on the trailer because these are the ones that are being sold alongside the separate pile of 2 just over there. Oh, and as I went past the rice field to top up the bale wrap, I realised that we hadn't flooded it for the month. So I quickly jumped out, flooded the rice field just to get that done. Anyways, I think this is a great place to leave this episode. We're not going to get into next month and harvesting the oats just yet. So, as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying following along. If you are, please do give the video a like and consider subscribing to the channel. And I will hopefully see you in the next episode. But until then, bye for now.